Eric Anderson with Video Services Incorporated, and today we're going to take a look at the SoundCraft SI Expression 2 console. All right, so this board functions pretty much just like an analog board does, so if you're familiar with signal flow, it's going to seem very familiar to you. Your microphone is going to plug in right here, and then essentially everything hits what they call the ACS part of the console, which is just your channel strip. So once you get here, you're going to see your 48 volts phantom power in case you have a condenser mic. There's a phase switch if you need to throw something out of phase. Your gain trim pot is where you turn up the amount of gain that you want to get whatever a nice level would be. Below that is your high pass filter. Now you have to turn that on, and when you press the button you can see it lights up blue. That's how you know it's on. And then you have a encoder knob wheel here that you can select where you want that high pass filter to start cutting off low frequencies. After you move from there, it moves into a gate section. So if you're going to be gating something, same thing, you turn it on, it turns green. Now you can adjust the gate threshold settings to open when you need it. From there, you move into a compressor, same situation, you got to turn it on, and then you've got all the typical compression settings, attack, release, makeup, gain, threshold, ratio, that kind of stuff. From there, then you move into the EQ section, which is a fully parametric EQ. You've got high mids, low mids, and lows. Both the high and low mids also have adjustable bandwidth cues, which is very helpful. And then from there, you basically move to this last section, which is kind of the routing area. There is a pan knob, and this is where you would make sure to assign your channel to the stereo bus or to the mono output, which is an additional output you could also use. They also include a delay here. If you needed to time align something, you could do it right there. That's the main part of what you're gonna do. So once you've plugged in your microphone, you bring it up. These green buttons here are the on-off switches for the individual channels. You can think of it as a mute. When you turn it off, it's muted. When you turn it on, the green light comes back. You can see signals getting in there. You can see it, all throughout the board. That's pretty much the extent, as long as you also remember with digital consoles, it's all about whatever you have selected. You can only select one thing at a time, and whatever you do have selected is what you're going to be working on. So in this case, we've got our microphone selected here. We do need to make sure that it's being routed to the stereo bus. If that's turned off, it's not going to get out. So make sure it's at the stereo bus. Your left-right stereo bus fader is right here, and at that point, you should be hearing sound coming out of your mains. The last little part that you're gonna probably need to know is how to also send some signals out, a mix output to a monitor mix for somebody on stage. So you have there's 14 mix outputs. They keep 15 and 16 wired for the main left-right bus. So basically you wind up with 14. They can be made pre or post fader individually, any of them, depending on how you're using them. So in this situation, we're gonna be talking about using it to feed a stage monitor. So we'll just press mix 1. As soon as you do that, you can see everything turned yellow. This board does some nice stuff with color where, depending on what you're doing at the time, it represents in a certain color. So right now, as soon as we push mix 1, you see these are all the auxiliary sends for mix 1, and they correspond to the channels of the board. So we were working on channel 1 with our microphone. Now when we send some level, you're now sending level to mix 1. All of these wind up at a mix master here, so you got to make sure that this is also turned up and that it's on. And as long as you have it sent and it's on, mix 1, we have chosen to come out output number 1 on the board, and you just send that up to your speaker and the sound gets up there. Now it's pre-fader so that whatever changes I made on the main page are not reflected in the mix on stage, because you don't want that to happen. That is pretty much it. That would get you up and running to do anything where you've got some people speaking, or even a band situation where you have a monitor mix or 2 on stage. That's pretty much it. We're gonna do some other videos that break it down further and show you some of the other features, but hopefully that'll be helpful and get you up and running. So once again, this is Eric Anderson with Video Services Incorporated. I hope you find these videos helpful. Again, this was the SoundCraft SI Expression 2. It's a pretty powerful little board, and it's got a lot of features and a pretty small footprint, so good luck.